So I'm Charu Chaturvedi. I'm a computer science student in Ahmedabad. So today I'll be presenting my most recent website, like visual redesign, and I'm looking for your all of your feedback on the visual redesign as well as my communication skills. And today I'll be presenting my homepage redesign project, wherein I was tasked to redesign the Founded website's homepage, which is a job search portal for all kinds of professionals. So before we begin, I want you all to imagine a time when you were college students or recent graduates, or looking to transition from one career to another or changing jobs, and you went onto a job portal with high hopes and excitement that you'll find your next job or your first gig right there. But instead, you were hit by an overwhelming stream of too much information here and there spread everywhere across the screen. It is overwhelming and it adds to the anxiety that is already there. I have been there a couple of months ago when I was looking for internships for myself for my vacation. And so that was my primary motivation to do this project and solve some of the issues that I have faced during that period. My goal with showcasing this project today is to understand whether my UX thinking is effective enough and to get feedback on both the visual design as well as my communication of it. So let me explain a little bit about what Foundit is. Foundit is a career board for recent graduates, mid-career professionals, and other experienced executives. I understood that it aims to be more friendly as compared to all the other competitor websites. It aims to be innovative, personalized, and forward thinking as well for all sorts of career professionals. Now here you can see I have added a screenshot of the current website design. And I'll go from top to bottom highlighting what are the issues that I noticed in the current homepage. So here at the top in the navigation bar, you can see that there are some of the primary options which they provide, such as career fair, skill test, and other things. Amongst this, there is no button to upload an already existing resume. Instead, they have a resume builder in which you have to enter all the details manually and build your resume from scratch. It is very time consuming and it also slows down the process and makes you do double the effort when you have already created a resume. Now, next is the search bar where I noticed two issues. One was a nice to have and one was a must have, according to me. So here, there are three sections in the search bar which delay the process for you to get to the call to action. It lengthens the process a lot and makes it frustrating. And here, the experience section is not so important to add in the initial search, but it can be later incorporated in the filters or advanced search. Along with this, there was no option to directly go to the most commonly searched job options and directly find relevant jobs in them. Next, we have a section, profile section, where we have the view recommended jobs. So here, when you click on this button, there's a lot of jobs that just show up directly, and there's too much information, too many sections everywhere, and it's just overwhelming with too much text. So that these were some of the issues in the upper fold, and there was one good thing that I really liked. It was the employers of choice section or the hiring section, which showed all the companies that hired from Founded. So this showcasing these hiring companies acts as a social proof and builds the confidence amongst users that they can find the right job at this website. Then in the second half of the homepage, I noticed that the mobile app download section was somewhere sitting in between four other cards, and it isn't as noticeable when you go through it at first glance. I personally had no idea that they had an app up until I actually went onto Play Store and searched whether I can find an app to use it on the go whenever I need it. So it wasn't prominent enough for to transition from the website to app. So to solve each of these problems, I took each of them one by one and tried to solve them. The first one here was no clear resume upload button, and the availability of a resume builder.
I think she froze.
process and slows down the application because you have to enter streamline the application, minimize confusion, and to enhance the satisfaction of the user. Next, the second issue that we saw was there were too many fields in the search bar before we could actually hit the search button and find a relevant job. To solve this problem, I removed the experience section entirely here, and we could always go to once we click on the search button, when the search page opens, we could easily apply filters of the experience or the age group or the type of company that we're looking for, the type of job, everything later. It is a nice to have, but not a must have. So in the next section, like I said, the search bar had no shortcut to quickly access the common job titles. This provided a basic suboptimal experience. And every time you have to search the job, whether it is available, whether it is searched a lot or not. So to address this problem, I added a shortcut here under the search bar itself called the popular categories, where you could directly hit on the popular jobs that were available and you could search the relevant jobs. And finally, here, as you can see, like there was no recommended job section. So in the homepage itself, I tried to incorporate some cards which showed the most common jobs that were available in your field of interest. And these were personalized and had all the basic relevant information that you need, like the company name, the type of job, whether it is full-time, part-time, on-site, remote, and everything that is basic required. And here you could either apply to the job or get to know more details whether if you want to. Then I tried to keep the first few cards very minimum, like 3 at max, so that it does not overwhelm the user with too many choices. And then if they are intrigued by this and they want to get to see more, they can click on the view all and view all the jobs available for their field of interest. And lastly, I addressed the issue of mobile app. The section of mobile app download was not prominent enough by making it more prominent, compelling, and persuasive with clear call to action buttons to allow them to download the app directly if they were using iOS via App Store, and if they were using Android, then via Google Play Store. And I tried to show that they can download the app and expand their job search to a global level easily on the go. Now here is the working prototype of the website. So as you can see, I've tried to incorporate a lot of micro interactions and as well as some animations to make the design more visually appealing as well as engaging. So here there is the upload resume button on which if you click, you can go and upload your resume accordingly. Then here we have the search bar section where I have clearly mentioned in examples what kind of search options you are supposed to write and understand what you want to search. Then next we have the popular categories right here. The popular categories, you can directly click here and go into the job section. Here I have incorporated the recommended opportunities where here as well I have added clear call to action buttons, one primary, one secondary, apply and view details. And you have all the relevant details in small tiles here, like the number of position, the time duration, whether it is on-site or remote, and the salary as well. Now, I kept this section the same as the original, the hiring powerhouse section. This includes all the companies that are hiring from Founded. Finally, this is the prompt to download the mobile app. So here I have tried to show via an animation that you can connect with employers across the globe and take your job search global. So this is the redesign project that I did. And so I ultimately like to conclude my presentation, and I want to say some things that point out some things that I have incorporated in my visual design to make it more user friendly and interactive. I've tried to keep it minimalistic with generous white space so that it does not overwhelm the user. I've used the actual brand color palette of Founded so that it promotes the same kind of innovation friendliness, and as well as along with that I've added rounded buttons and rounded corners to all the cards to incorporate approachability. By incorporating all these visual design elements, I have tried to make the design visually striking, user friendly, and something that resonates with our audience and facilitates a good user experience. that would be the end of my presentation, and I'm open to any questions, feedbacks, or suggestions for the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Charu. Go ahead, Achyut.
Amazing presentation, first thing. So,
Thank
Charu,
you.
I just had a few doubts, and with regards to, because you asked for feedback on communication as well. It was like very crisp, and you just gave what was done, and I really like that without
Thank you
extending
so
it too
much.
much. Yeah. So, Charu, I just had a question in terms of, you have placed the upload resume thing right on the navigation section, right? Yeah.
Right.
So I wanted to understand what was the understanding behind that, because one thing is, if I look at it normally, I might be wrong. Just correct me. That is not the flow that you carried. I would like to upload my resume after I find that the job is suitable for me, or way to upload your resume in the first place. After taking the content on my resume, after capturing the information, how are you easing my process of finding the relevant job for me?
Yes, so my idea behind that button, go and upload a PDF that I have created, which includes all the details of my experience, my interests, my hobbies, or anything that is relevant for the job. And then the website would parse the text out and fill it in the form itself. Now, based on this form, I can obviously edit it according to how I want it to be. If I want to change certain things, I can. If I want to add or subtract something, I can. And then when I upload that form or as a founded resume, let's just say it will be a personalized founded resume, then the app would try to find keywords, because they would need keywords in terms of their own text format instead of the PDF. They wouldn't be able to read through the PDF. They would use the keywords from that, and then they would find me the relevant jobs. And like LinkedIn, I could incorporate similar features wherein we'd show how many skills match and then accordingly showcase the jobs.
Right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know actually, because
Yes.
if the system or the design is capable of capturing the information that I provided in the resume, then that it would really ease my job of actually getting
Of
to
course. So the
match with
parsing, the
the
text
roles that
parsing
I'm looking
was
for.
for the target. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Charu. So
Yes,
you
Simran.
spoke a little bit about the upload resume when Achyut had asked. So could you touch a little bit on that? From what I understood, when I click on it, I get a form that I fill in details, or do I upload the resume, like the document that I have, the PDF or whatever? Like, how does that work?
So the flow that I have in mind is you upload the resume. Then there probably can be a loading screen that shows you that you have to wait so and so amount of time before our website parses it into text. So then the form appears, which is pre-filled from the data that you had in your PDF. No, so basically the form is pre-filled with the data you had, but it is editable. So you can edit it according to your needs. If you want to change something, if your resume was not updated and you wish to change something else here, you can change it accordingly and then upload it as found its very own resume.
Okay, so I see a small challenge with that. For example, if I upload a resume and let's say my resume is very colorful since I'm a designer or whatever, and certain things are not, that like the software is not able to like easily recognize that as text. It recognizes it as an image. So in situations like that, how do you how have you planned for those kind of cases as well?
Actually, that wasn't really in my scope of research, but I can definitely go into it now and get back to you with that information.
Okay. All right, that I just wanted to know that, because when you say upload resume, I understand that I have a file that I have to send across. And then if I have a form and I have to fill out a form, assuming that there are a lot of errors, then I think an easier approach would be to like fill the resume or fill the form or fill our template or something like that. where you have
So we could even have two sections here. Like one could be to upload the resume directly, or you could fill out the form manually. So that would, if the resume builder, the upload resume section is not really working in your favor, you can then try filling out the data.
Okay.
But I'll still get more into it and try and understand some other solutions.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Charu. Nice and crisp
Hi,
presentation, first of all.
Thank you.
I have four points. I'll make them quickly. Can you scroll up a little bit?
On the screen?
Yeah, so I want to read the problem. So no clear resume upload button, right? So I think because one of the feedback that you are looking for is how can you communicate as well, right? So what I would say is when you say no clear resume upload button, right? It suggests that you already have an assumption that there should be a button, but why is not clear as of now, right? So if you dive deeper there, what you will realize that you are looking for the kind of jobs that can be relatable to you based on your resume. Isn't that, is that the intention, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, what you can, the way you can frame the problem is there is no quickest way to find the jobs based on the profile that you have, right? Or the based on the resume that you have. Then you can start, if you frame the problem that way, then you can start ideating for different solutions, right? Maybe one of the solution is, okay, put an upload button. And then there can be other solutions like, okay, fetch the details from my resume and, generate a job results page for me based on my requirement, whatever, right? Now you're opening that door to explore much more, solutions to solve that problem than just one. Right? So yeah, that would be one of my suggestions for this one.
Considering them. All right.
Okay. Then you said the search bar was frustrating. But if you look at it, so the first component is you need to type. So let us say it'll take 5 to 10 seconds there. Okay. The next thing is location. So it can be detected automatically or you will need to enter that. So let us say you'll take 4 to 6 seconds there. Right? Total 16 seconds. Experience is just a selector. It will take you 1 second or probably 2. Right? So is it actually frustrated? Right?
Yeah. Okay. I get what you're trying to say.
Okay. So let's look at your solution down below. So now, because you also want to look at your visual design, get feedback for your visual design. What I would say is when you are saying job title and locations, right? The things down below don't look like, you can do something there. You can type there. They look like, labels or something disabled, right? So what you can do there is, look at some of the design patterns which will allow you to type something there very, very quickly. Yeah. So that would be one feedback. The other feedback is the other way you can accelerate this process is, let us say there are two, two sections. So let's talk about two sections only. So what you can do is for job title, you can provide some quick suggestions like, because you have already taken location, right? You will know what are the top or popular. I think you have that solution in next, right? But what you can have is you can have this thing for both, like for location, for job title, so that you can quickly, you can accelerate their way to select
Both
something
ways.
that is popular.
Right.
Right. So can we go and look at that? The next one. This one. Right. So similarly, let us say if you have not detected any location, you can also do suggestions for location also. Like Bangalore, Hyderabad, something like that.
Right.
Okay. I have two more points. So one is recommended, view recommended jobs, the next one. Yeah. So when you, again, it's just the framing problem. When you say recommended jobs not shown on the home page, and you're pointing to something which is showing that there are recommended jobs.
Right.
Right. So the problem
Not
is,
the options are not shown.
yeah. So the problem is recognition rather than recall, right? You are having to go somewhere else to find out what are all the things that are there. Right. You are having to wonder about it. Right.
All right.
Yeah. The last point I have is for your Android application, I mean your app links, the problem. So what's the problem? It's not this one. So from which device did you take this screenshot?
From my laptop.
So when you are using your laptop, are you worrying about installing something on your phone?
But you'd want to find a link and go to the app. And the website is responsive. So the design is supposed to be responsive. It will be shown the same way on a phone screen as well.
But I mean, from the mental model perspective, if you were to use this website in the app, you would have opened that by your phone browser, right? Does it not establish that you want to do everything on desktop? That's why you are using a desktop web browser. Just a question. There is no.
I understand your point, and I could have incorporated a screenshot from the phone as well.
So that is how you should build the context for this problem, right? Because the current way how you have done it establishes the fact that you are not on the go. You are very dedicated and focused, and you have a lot of time to do what you want to do with this website. That's why you have opened a desktop web browser. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as in the problem that I usually find is, so you've added, okay, upload a resume, but the usual problem that I face is mainly uploading multiple resume and then tweaking those resume and then applying to specific job. So have you considered or thought something about in that level?
Yes, so since it wasn't in my primary scope for the contest, I haven't researched about it as such, but that is a problem even I faced in my job search. So I had that in my mind to allow the users to add multiple job resumes in the future. If I continued with the project, I would add that.
I think, yeah, other than that, your presentation was nice and yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. So I'm just trying to understand. So I am primarily, the way I look at it is, I'm not going to look at the technical stuff because all the folks have given technical feedback. I'm going to talk about the communication, how you've talked about it. Okay. And how the other person will perceive you. All right. So my question to you is, okay, when you did the comparison of these products with other websites and stuff like that, why do you think white space is good?
So actually a lot of it was also on my own personal experience, like I said. So it has a tendency to calm you down comparatively and to reduce the anxiety and overload that is already on cognitive load that is already on your brain with having to find the right job and itne sare job descriptions and itne sare opportunities. So when there is a lot of space, so you sort of connect with it in a way that it calms you down. And it gives you, relaxes you and sort of reduces the cognitive load ultimately. And that does not add to the anxiety or the excitement or whatever you're feeling already to find the job.
Okay, excellent. So that is one question. Write this down. Okay, just write it down on a piece of paper. We'll come back to it. Okay?
All right.
Then the next question that I would have. Okay. Why did you think uploading the resume is important?
So uploading the resume would allow the users to find jobs that are relevant for them instead of just. So there are a bunch of categories of jobs that are available, that are a bunch of categories of levels of experience and cities and whatever that are required for a job. But if I am looking for a job role of a UX design intern in say Ahmedabad or in a remote location, so I would want to directly apply to that place and probably a single go. I wouldn't want to explain to them each time why, what I have done in the past and what are my projects or what are my hobbies or where I'm studying and all that again and again. So a resume would allow me to not only search for the relevant jobs but also send it to the employer, so that send it to the employer in one go so that they can easily get to know where I'm coming from.
So let me ask this question. I would argue from a business perspective, if I was the guy who was running Founded, having resume people can put in any format, right? So having a specific format allows me to be more effective because employers, for me, my primary customers are employers. So employers would be able to see all the data in a standard format, right? So forcing people to input the data is better for my business is what my argument is.
But like I mentioned before, the flow that I'm going for would be something on the lines that our website would parse the data into text format and they would fill the form accordingly.
But again, the question is why?
submit.
Why? What is the why? And I promise you, be a little bit patient with me, but there is a truth there. Okay, there is interesting fun at the end of it. But why do you want to parse it? Why do you want to do that extra work? What is the point there?
I mean, it can work in two ways, not only to send it to the employer, but also you can pick out the keywords for the user and you can show
forget
them
thinking
relevant.
like a computer science person. Think about like the user, okay, your customer. Okay, why is it important for somebody to upload it?
Find the right jobs, I believe.
But if you right job, to kaise bhi milega? You know what I mean? I mean, if you type it in also, you'll find the right job. To do the resume, upload the resume also, you'll find the right job. So there is really no advantage from your perspective, hai na? Okay, Punish?
So like what you are asking for, like I had one thought on that. Like people are using this on desktop. So maybe they are going through multiple websites for the job search. Like it will not be only this website. Like there are ample of websites. So this website wants them that they as quickly as they can able to find the relevant job that is for them. It will be easy for the business to hold that person on their website.
So what is that one word? Give me one word. Why? One word.
Quickly.
That is the point. Because you're going to 10 different websites. So maybe you don't know whether you want to invest in this website or not, isn't it? It's an investment. It's an investment of your time and effort. Correct? So thank you, Punish. So you're investing your time and effort into a website and you want people to kind of be able to put their resume in. Otherwise, you will not have more resumes for the companies, right?
Yes.
So speed is important to get more resumes. Amount of effort is important to get more resumes.
Yes.
Right? So that is the problem you're solving. You're solving when you reduce effort and increase the speed, you get more resumes, which makes your company more competitive.
Right.
So that is the other problem you're solving. Okay. So again, think about it from this way. The common framework that I give for koi bhi presentation ke liye, it's a 4-point agenda. Okay. The first thing I say is, what is the problem? Okay. Right. And what is the problem, as in when you're presenting it, are you going to be presenting this work to a designer or to a business leader who's going to make your hiring decision? Who are you going to present this deck to?
Probably a business leader.
Does the business leader care white space ho, blue ho, rang? Because I mean, as a business leader, I'm colorblind. My mom finds some color better. My wife finds some color better. So I can always say, my mom can't see this resume, can't see this page. So make it green.
Well, by white space, I intended to have a lot of breathing space, you know.
Yeah, I can say my mom gets very confused when she looks at this website. So I don't know whether it's a good idea or not. Point is this, okay? Never talk in terms of users when you're talking from a business perspective. Okay? Talk from the perspective of the business problem you're solving. Okay? Or the key opportunity you're trying to get there. Okay? So when you say this, okay, white space, in my opinion, you know, the moment you say, in my opinion, I will say, well, how many years of experience do you have? You don't have a lot of years of experience. So clearly your opinion doesn't matter for much. You know? So the way you want to position your arguments is this. You want to say, listen, you know, you want to allow people to make decisions quickly. Well, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Allow people to notice what is important and make decisions quickly.
Make decisions, yeah.
Okay. So you want to create a spotlight on the core things that are there and allow people to make decisions fast. So what do?
Correct.
You create white space, minimalize it. You know? The second thing, you want people to, you know, interact with the website quickly, get their first win as quickly as possible. It's a what you call time to value. You know? So which is why, you know, the whole process of creating the resume and all that is a very long drawn out process and it takes time. And so you're losing out customers. So what you should be doing is allowing people to upload so that you're reducing the time and you're getting the value as quickly as possible. You know? Again, as a business leader, I understand, oh yeah, I want people to do their first action quickly and I want people to get engaged with my website. I get that. That is my business problem.
Correct.
You know? Now, when you tell me your design in the context of my business problem, I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, it's the same thing as friends, right? So when you become friends with people or when you talk to someone, how do you decide that you want to talk more with that person and not more with some other person? You know? Because the other person understands you or you have a common ground with that other person, isn't it?
Right, right.
So when you're going in to present your work, you should actually talk about the common ground, not from your perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing. So what is the problem you're solving? And so if you're ever in doubt, ask, why did I make white space? What is the business problem I'm solving? What is the user problem I'm solving? Okay, ask that why multiple times till you get to that truth. Then the next step that you need to think about is, well, is this really a problem? So let us say that you said, okay, people are able to, I want to create a spotlight. Well, is creating a spotlight really that important, right? Or is allowing people to upload something really that important? Because like, you know, is reducing the time to value important, right? Well, the answer to that is, you know, what you need to do is, this is where when you compare with other products, this is what is important. You can say, well, look at this website. It takes you 1 click to get engaged. On this website, it takes you 5 clicks to get engaged. On this website, it takes you 6 clicks to get engaged. So now you're talking from the user, right? I mean, think about it as you're a user experience designer. So you have to talk about from the user experience perspective. Don't just say, usne white use kiya, isne green use kiya. Because white and green from a business perspective, mere ko koi farak hi nahi padta. But what I would be very curious about is that guy does it in 1 click, this guy does it in 5 clicks. So now you are actually creating very objective numbers. You are creating very objective perspective. And you're saying, listen, just by looking at this guy, you're putting, you know, more time, more effort here, right? And in this case, you know, you're just above the fold, you're just seeing the click-through element and you're engaging with it. But that is why you're saying, okay, based on all the research I've done, compared to other products, you are much worse. So you now have a mathematical way that is undisputable. It's not my opinion versus your opinion. It's an undisputable discussion, right?
Right.
Then you come to the third level. How did you solve the problem? Okay. So which is, what is the problem? Why is this a problem? How did you solve it? And the last is, how do you know you solved it? Okay. So how did you solve it? Well, there are 5 different ways. Time to value. Here are 5 different strategies I can reduce the time to value, because now I want to see how broad you can think. So give me 4 or 5 ideas that will reduce the time to value. Okay. Give me 4 or 5 ideas that will help me increase the focus. And you say, here are all these ideas that I've thought through.
All right. Yeah.
So now I know, wow, this girl has thought about, she knows my problem. Okay. She understands why that problem is important.
Yeah.
Okay, she didn't just go and copy a feature from some website, and she also knows she has done so many different ideas that I think I can value this. It's a very systematic approach to problem solving. And finally, how did you know you solved it? Well, after you do this and after you implement it, we go from 5 clicks to 1 click. After we do this, it goes from 10 seconds to 1 second, whatever, Now you got your metrics, and therefore I solved the problem.
All right. Yes.
Now, when the other person is looking at it, they're completely, you're checking off all their boxes, because I'm just looking at it from a business perspective. And when you come in and you talk that way, I'm like, man, she knows my business. All right. So I'm only going to comment about how you present, because there's a theoretical component that you need to still learn, right? I'm not sure if anybody can just search Medium mein, what we've done for the audit ka article, jo hai, that one, or the heuristic wala article. If you can if somebody can share it on the chat, that will be great. I'd recommend you read it, because there's a framework for finding problems as well. Okay, because the point is, just because you'll always see this argument, just because somebody else does it, should I also do it? Now, you have to be able to defend that argument, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So that is where this theory will help you defend it. Okay. You'll say, yeah, I'll give you a classic example. Flipkart was the #1, e-commerce guy in India for the longest time. Amazon was not even there when Flipkart came. It became big. For almost 3 or 4 years of Flipkart's reign, Amazon wasn't even existing, right? But today, which website do you use if you want to search, if you want to buy something? Why? If you go to Flipkart, usne exactly Amazon ka copy kiya, pixel to pixel copy kiya. Okay, so some designer there also did a similar research like you did, hai na? And Amazon mein jo tha, pixel to pixel copy karke laga diya udhar. Right?
Yeah.
Then why did Flipkart lose? Why did Amazon win? And even though Flipkart had 3 years head start over Amazon, Amazon came and ate Flipkart's lunch and then went away. Why? Actually, something much more UI level, something more interesting. Go ahead, Achyut.
When I'm actually buying a product online, because I don't have that touch and feel kind of an experience, I would want to know other people who have bought that, what is their experience from.
Exactly. So what Amazon did was it spent years building the ratings and review system. Then when they put the ratings and reviews, when you look at the ratings and reviews, it is meaningful, because you read it and it's like, okay, I understand. But if you go to Flipkart, look at all the ratings and reviews. Good. Works. Nice. So what happened is, the moment Amazon came into the market, what people would do is, the first thing people would do is they'd see the product on Flipkart, they'd search for the same product on Amazon and read the reviews on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? Even though it is pixel to pixel the same, the technology stack behind both the websites is different, isn't it?
Yes.
So simply copying a feature does not guarantee you success. You have to think through the logical perspective. Well, if I take it, well, what is the benefit? What are the strengths of my website? What are the weaknesses of my website? How does it compare with the other one? And should I do it or not?
Right.
And you need to have a reasonable answer to that question. Okay. So that is why I would say, never go into something and say, I did research and I looked at 5 products that are exactly in the market. Usne white use kiya, isne green use kiya, sab wahi karte hain. So if you imagine 1000 log aapke jaise market mein hain, how will I tell you are different from somebody else?
Right.
So that is where your uniqueness and the way you approach the problem has to stand out. Okay. So if nothing else, right, theory is anyways, you'll keep learning, but if to get an immediate win, what I'd say is follow this 4-point formula. Well, what is the problem? How do you know that's a problem? All right. How did you solve it? And how do you know you solved it? Just answer these 4 questions in your presentation, and I think you'll be good. Okay. And dhire dhire aap, you get the concept, the theory and all that stuff, and then you'll get good at it. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Of course. Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Charu. It always takes courage to come and present. So, good job. And you just minor modification, how you present, how you talk, just practice those skills, and I think you'll get really good at it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye.